Hello guys, today I will be doing a tier list of all the fruits since the most recent patch notes. And yes, I'm finally talking again. I had a mouth problem though. Let's start now. Also, this is my opinion and only mine, so please do not be rude in the comments or bear will come. Alrighty guys, let me just explain how the tiering system works for this video. We have the bad fruits in D tier. These are fruits that are slightly usable but the least recommended in the game. I'm just gonna put them right now because I don't want to talk about them. Also, I removed the F tier because no fruit in this game is complete garbage. Now we have the mid fruits. These are not recommended to use, but they are still usable in a way. And in my opinion, the worst ones in this tier are these four that I also do not want to talk about, but they have somewhat good combos and they're somewhat usable. Okay, now we have the good fruits in B tier. For the B tier fruits, these are average, but average in this game is actually good. So the fruits in here are all greatly usable and are good in their own way. Okay, now we have the B plus fruits. I had to make this tier because in the last video, it was a bit confusing to put them between A and B without a middle. So I decided to make above average tier fruits. Next, we have the very good fruits. These are very good. They're highly above average in A tier, and you should be careful when you fight them because they most likely have an OP combo starter. Okay, lastly we have the best fruits in S tier. These are the absolute broken fruits, the best in the game basically. Last thing I want to mention, every single fruit I will be ranking will be ranked considering their maximum potential. So if I put OP in S tier, it's because I am considering a very good player using it. Okay, now we have TS Rubber. TS Rubber is actually insanely versatile because its mode is actually very good, just like its base, and its base is mainly used for close range while its mode can be used for long range and also countering. So definitely A tier, not gonna lie, one of my favorite fruits nowadays. Okay, now we have Light V2. Light V2 is actually not that bad, but it is the worst V2 fruit. But it's very usable by a good player, so above average in B plus tier. I won't be putting it in B tier like in my last ranking video. Okay, now we have Magma V2. Magma V2 is my favorite fruit in the entire game. In my opinion, it's above TS Rubber because it just has a better combo starter. It's more consistent. Its combo does more damage. Every single move in this kit does more damage than TS Rubber. Well, almost. Then we have Magnet. Magnet is the fruit I struggle the most fighting against. If the player is good. Like in ranked 1v1s, there are some people who just completely beat me while using Magnet. So it's the top of A tier for me. It's a very good fruit. Like its first skill can make you be stuck in the air and then on the ground for I don't know, 5 seconds, which is enormous. Even 7 seconds, I'd say. Okay, now we have Lightning. This fruit has insane potential. With 3 orbs, you can charge your 3 move, your 4 move, and your 5 move for them to be OP and super easy to land. And all of these 3 moves are potential combo starters. I don't need to explain further. This fruit is insane. Top 3 definitely. Okay, for Dragon V1, it's a very good fruit, but it got 3 nerfs. Its most important nerf is the fact that its transformation duration is now 10% less. So bottom of A tier, but its moves still do amazing damage and its combos are still super deadly. But one thing about Dragon V1 is that you have to adapt, because fighting against different fruits can vary a lot your strategy. Darkness, I have no opinion on this fruit. It's just so avoidable. Its combos are so avoidable, but I am putting it in the top of C tier because it got decently buffed. Its dark end startup to charge it fully got sped up to 50%, which is very good, and that move, the dark end, is actually quite easy to land when it's fully charged, so I think it has some potential now. And for OP, yeah, S tier. With Magnet, OP is like the fruit I struggle the most fighting. It's just so disorientating. Like, your opponent shambles on top of you, you don't know where they are, but then they start a one-shot combo which deletes half of your health at least, and it's just so good. Flame V2 is basically the same as Magma V2, except it's less consistent, but it's more brain dead due to the huge hitboxes, so it's better. But Magma V2 remains my favorite because it's just more consistent. Next we have Soul. Soul, I don't know why I put it so high in my last video, but now they nerfed it even more. They made it so that the Crimson Pillar has a warning so that you can know when your opponent is going to use it, which makes it very predictable, and you can just block all of its moves except Scorching Sickle, which you can easily avoid. So bottom of A tier above Dragon V1. darkxquake. If you are fighting an air camper, you cannot do anything, and that is the only reason that I am putting it not in S tier but in the top of A tier, because it can't deal with long range fruits. I know it does have a nice zone controlling move, the Black Turret, but without long range moves, this fruit can't do much against long range fruits. Light V1 is just an annoying fruit with blockable and avoidable moves. It's not really much. It does have combos if you stun your opponent, but stunning your opponent is insanely hard if your opponent is good because they can just block. So in my opinion, it goes above barrier since it can air camp and zone, but no good combo starters. For sand, yeah, I don't use this much. It got nerfed pretty bad. It can't really do a decent combo anymore, but its moves are decently easy to land, so I'm putting it at least above barrier because I think it still can combo pretty easily actually. Ice V2, I'm pretty happy with the buffs I got this update because now it's the most balanced fruit in the entire game. Its Piercing Glacier has a decent startup, but it got decreased, which is good. And its Ice Skate got a buff with its stun, so I think you can combo off of it now, which is very good, and I'm happy with that. So B+, top of B+, above Light V2. String is B+, literally just because of the fact that, you know what, top of B, just because of the fact that you can spawn a clone, get in the air, and do your one skill, which is quite literally an unavoidable combo starter, which is insanely OP, guys. Next we have Gravity. Definitely a good B tier fruit in the right hands. It has good block breaks, it has an iframe, it has an ultimate that does good damage, it has a spammable rock throwing move, it has everything basically, but you need to be good to use this well. Okay, now we have Quake. In my opinion, this is the definition of an average fruit because it has decent combo starters, the slam move, and it has a decent ultimate, it has decent damage, decent everything, decent counters, you know what I mean? So it's very deserving of its spot. Leopard is easily an S tier fruit because it has insane counters. Its spiraling kick is actually an insane combo starter because it's very hard to avoid, but the only downside of it is that it's inconsistent and it could fling your opponent the wrong way, sadly. But most of the time you can combo extend with Claw Barrage and get them in a combo. Nika. I used to say this is trash, but I fought good Nika users. The base mode is trash, don't get me wrong. But the mode, you can actually push your opponent and get them in a combo. That's the strategy. You push your opponent and one day they'll get hit. That's literally what you do with it. So bottom of S tier. Dough is amazing in the right hands. I don't know how to explain it, but its combo does insane damage and it has a zoning move. It's basically like darkxquake, but with long range moves, especially the grilled dough, which is very useful to combo start. So S tier above Nika. I don't feel like explaining Magma V1 much. I don't play with it much, no one fights with it. Its only good move that was used for combo starting is now blockable since a few updates. It did get buffed this update, but that doesn't help because it's still blockable. Next we have Love. Love it's a B tier fruit, yeah, above Paw. If you get caught by one of its moves, it can be very dangerous. Dragon V2, in my opinion, it is the best fruit. I don't want to talk about it too much, but it has very good combo starters and very good counter moves. For example, if you're using TSR against Dragon V2, you cannot use your jet pistol because in the hybrid form, the movement speed literally outmatches the jet pistol speed and they can literally just counter you with the darn tornado, which is big and fat. Ash, bottom of B tier because it got severely nerfed. The Crow Cascade got nerfed by 50 whole studs and the Obelisk move hitbox is now trash, which was the move you would rely on. So now it's bottom of B tier or even top of C tier, but I'm gonna be nice. Next we have Flame V1. Some people can actually be good with this fruit and perform well. It has a good iframe counter move, which when it hits you, it stuns you for a long time and then your opponent can get you in the kind of flame combo. But it's not a fruit for me. I never use it, but some people use it well, so I'd say it's like above Paw in B tier. Yeah. Venom. It got nerfed to a legendary, but that's not a nerf impacting the fruit itself. Its hitboxes are still huge, humongous. Like, you know that second move, the Venom Road? You cannot avoid it. I don't know why, but for some reason, the landing hitbox is so huge that when you block the trail itself, the landing hitbox hits you and then you're stunned. Also, the Poison Storm is a huge move, which is unavoidable if you're like in the range, which is huge. So I put it in the top of A tier. It's not in S tier because it lacks a true ultimate. Okay, now we have Phoenix. Phoenix is like another version of Nika where the base is trash but the mode is OP. And the strategy for the mode is the same as Nika. You just push the whole time until your opponent dies. So I'm putting it at the top of bottom of A tier, above Dragon because the Dragon got nerfed. So yeah. Okay guys, I don't want to make anyone mad, but if you used OKUCHI, I think you know what I mean. It is the worst mythical fruit upon release, guys, okay? It has no good combo starters, except the ultimate, which has a super long cooldown. I am not proud of the balancing of this fruit, but I'm gonna be nice and give it the top of A tier. It does look really good, but that is not a factor that makes it balanced, sadly. It does have a true ultimate, but since it has no real combo starters, I cannot put it in S tier, guys. Okay, people, this is the final version of my tier list. Tell me if you agree or disagree with it, and please be polite with it. I don't want a person to just say L tier list without elaborating their point. I need elaboration. And feel free to send a picture of this tier list to your friends and talk about it. I don't mind. Anyways, bye guys.